How you doing, everybody? It's Jesse, aka Drackbolt, creator and developer of Dune 2: The Golden Path. Again, no affiliation with the original game Dune 2, created by Westwood Studios many years ago. If you do want to download this project, it is free. It is available at the website, and um, unfortunately, it uses intellectual property from the original game, so you do need to make sure that you own a copy of the original Dune 2 game by Westwood Studios in order to play it. So I'm going to be casting a game between Puxii and Gavin. And this should be pretty good. Gavin is a new player. He's been practicing apparently, though, so we'll see how he does. I have no idea what kind of tactics he's going to use. Puxi is from the Netherlands, and he has been playing for a long time. He's been around in the community for a long time. He's a very heavy macro player, tends not to micro very much, but also tends to give himself in a position where he doesn't even need to macro. He just steamrolls his opponents, as I like to put it. So he is probably going to do fine. I have no idea what Gavin is going to come up with. Gavin is the Atreides down here. He is scouting around for appropriate rock. I imagine he's going to settle over here. This wouldn't be bad because there's not a lot of distance between here. You can actually breach these little distances here and turn this all basically into one little starter base, which is a fair amount of rock. So hopefully he'll stick with that. If he wants, it's actually not bad to keep scouting. You do lose a number of seconds when you do that, but it's really more important to just find a really expansive amount of rock because otherwise you're going to hamper yourself quite a bit trying to make a good sized base and to get all the different kinds of tech and everything that you need out there. So here comes Puxi with a throwing down his first refinery. I'm sure there it is, and he will probably pump out several more. He is definitely very heavy on the economy. He tends to go for long game builds, doesn't tend to do any kind of a rush, and I imagine that will be definitely the same for this game because of Gavin's relative lack of experience. So we'll see how he does. I've seen Gavin play a couple of times. He does tend to play in very standard patterns. Has a very nice even mix between new buildings and units. So he kind of plays like an artificial intelligence player would for now. He's got the basics down. So we'll see how he works when he tries to come up with more complicated patterns and tries to get a little bit more creative. We'll see what he pulls out for this match. He is doing some scouting. That's good. It's great to see some early scouting. Definitely try to own the board as soon as you can, because again, the way exploring works in okay, he should definitely retreat that guy. There's no need right now to lose a quad. That's one of your best ways to scout. Well, he won the fight because he's Atreides versus Ordos, and then he got one-shotted by a nice combat tank walking around. So that was an even trade, but there's really, I mean, if you're Atreides and you got, you need to scout around a little bit, especially against the Ordos. The Ordos have faster units than anyone else, so they're going to be riding around all over the place, making sure they see everything on the board. And the way exploration works in this game, it's like the original game in that once you explore a place, you then have permanent vision of it. There's no fog of war, but every once in a while there's a sandstorm that comes in and just blanks the whole board, all your visibility. So you do need to keep scouting. And right now, when both players can barely see a whole lot of the map, they really should just try to keep their scouting units alive. Let me see where that flak trike is. He's up here, and again, you just hit the mouse wheel button in order to go into this overhead zoom mode. You can only do this if you have a radar, if you have a radar outpost. But in this case, I'm an observer, so I automatically get that functionality. So he needs to run this guy away, or oh, he just missed. All right, look out. So he's getting some really good scouting here because right now Puxi just doesn't have anything to defend. Although he took a shot from the construction yard, which in my game has a small cannon to defend itself, which seems maybe a little silly, but it ended up just being an absolute necessity, to prevent games losing really, really, just to prevent games from ending in all of 10 seconds when somebody just runs a tank over there or something like that. So that was necessary. Every construction yard has a little bit of defensive power. So, um, but definitely Gavin scouted out quite a bit there. Oh, and there comes the return scout attempt with I believe the other flak trike, but that one got shot down pretty quickly. So we're going to continue watching here. We got a high-tech factory coming out. Gavin is, high-tech factory. It's up to you whether you want to get that right away or not, because it actually it costs so much money to build one, power one, and then also build a bunch of carryalls. That's a lot of money. So a lot of players will just pump out refineries first, And then when worm sign hits, which it just did with this icon blinking up here, when worm sign hits, they'll just micromanage their harvesting operation really carefully to make sure their harvesters don't get eaten. Because when worm sign is on, you don't want to move over the sand. Even harvesters will get picked up and just eaten by worms left and right every time they move over the sand. Anytime any unit moves across the sand, there's a chance it'll attract a worm. So during worm sign, like this situation, hold on a second. Let me just answer somebody else in our Steam group. Just letting another guy know that I'm observing a game, so he can stop notifying me. So back to the game here. Up, I think I just. All right, good. Whole bunch of worms moving around here. A couple of units got eaten up, and we got another refinery going down here. Probably another one as well. Somebody else is trying to observe, but no, not in this game. All right, so after this, we might have another game set up with possibly the Raffi and Arkodos, so we'll see how that goes. But back to the current. Excuse me, voice is getting dry. Hosting too many games. Casting too many games. All right. So here we go. Back to Puxie's situation. He's got a nice economy working up. He's continuing to build it. He's already got high-tech factories out. Very standard play for him. Gavin also. Um, here's the Raffi saying hi to everybody, so you can wave back if you feel like waving at your computer screen. Gavin is starting to pump out some infantry. That's cool. It's always nice to see some infantry hanging around for defense. There's no reason not to. He's got a number of queues here, which are going to be produced in pretty short order because infantry just don't take long to produce at all. Looks like he demolished that for whatever reason. He wants to make room for something else. So Gavin is moving up in the world a little bit, and he needs microwave power at this point. He needs to get that upgrade at the Ix, at the House of Ix, in order to branch out to these other sections. He's got auto concrete on. I can see that because the concrete is starting to spread out pretty far. But he needs the microwave power upgrade to be able to get buildings out here. So as soon as he does that, he'll be able to expand even more. And he's building up a little cache of infantry, but or a cadre or whatever you want to say there. I don't know exactly how that term is pronounced, but he's building up some forces. He's got a good economy going. Gavin's doing just fine. He's really doing fine. So I hope that Puxii is not trying to go easy on him or anything because Gavin is really looking like he's in a good position. And I know that Gavin is very heavily involved with CNC Net, which is an online system for playing Command and Conquer. It's still apparently very popular. So that seems to be doing very well. And so you can imagine he has some kind of decent skills with RTS games. So it shouldn't take him long to pick this up. Um, I'm not sure where these. Okay, these are Gavin's queues coming out here. So Gavin is pumping out a whole bunch of flak trikes at the moment to try and make sure he doesn't end up facing any ornithopter harass, and he may end up trying to harass enemy harvesting operations by shooting down the carryalls as they come back and forth to pick up the harvesters. Now, Puxii is continuing to improve his economy, but he's not actually building anything yet. Again, I've seen Puxii many times just save up a whole pile of money and then use it for something. He just really seems to enjoy the impressiveness of seeing a whole lot of vehicles pour out of the factory all at once. Because he will very often save up a lot of money and then queue up a lot of units instead of pumping them out one at a time to make sure his total reserves of spice are always kept at a relatively low level so that he's as efficient as possible and all of his defenses are out there whenever possible. So I can't see what his spice levels are or what he's doing. Here comes a harass of flak trikes or potential harass anyway. Gavin is considering it. Looks like he's going to wait and maybe put a little expeditionary force of infantry to come up there. They'll be able to handle that tank pretty well, but there are a couple of trikes in there and some other infantry as well, so they're not going to get too far. And it looks like he actually told them to move, or he has them on partial retreat orders. I'm not sure how he's handling them, so it looks like they might be taking extra damage and basically just getting shot up really badly. That's not a lot of infantry, and they're pretty slow. He doesn't have the still suit upgrade for them yet, so they're still walking pretty slow. they were just not able to get in a good position to do a lot of damage there. They didn't bunch up very well, and I'm not sure what orders he gave them in the start, so they didn't do very well. Here come a bunch of quads now. They're not going to do well against that tank, especially when they're just sitting there like that. Doesn't look like they're. He's just retreating everybody now, and Puxii definitely has a fair amount of units rolling around. He's got a whole bunch of light vehicles. Needs to get them off the sand right now. Gonna lose several. All right, there's one. There's another.